So yeah, I'm doing my research right now. Got my thesaurus out to get some other words out of my mouth because my brain is like on, I'm on a different planet right now. I can't even speak. I can't even think of words to describe how I feel right now listening to this new Phase Two. Phase Two, this new album. I'm feeling it right now. I gotta do some more research on Prince. Like, I'm reading up on him. I gotta do some more stuff. Like I said, I'm new to him. I'm trying to understand, where does he get the mentality to actually release another album 3 months? 3 months after Phase One came out, and it's a completely different genre of music. It's completely different from Phase One, and I need to absorb that in. I need to absorb this funk. No, it's not even funk. It's jazz. Jazz. It's independent, raw groovy soul. This album, with a little hint of Prince, because Prince should be his own genre. Like that. It's unbelievably, like, I need to understand. I need to actually, like, I don't know. That's why I need help. Like, I'm waiting for my phone to blow up because I'm waiting for someone to call me so they can help me get some more words out of my mouth, because I don't know what to do. I see my phone popping off there because everyone's just talking about it. Everyone's talking about the album, and I'm so happy with the whole Tidal thing. Like, I'm so happy with that Tidal thing now that I can just download it without even, logging into Tidal. I can just do that there. Boom, I got it. I'm so happy with that. I wonder if it's going to come out on CD so we can take my selfie with the CD. That'll be fun. I need to hear up any news on that. If anything, if that's going to happen. And vinyl. This album will be perfect for vinyl. So I'm going to finish write some notes up, and then tomorrow morning I am going to do the proper recording of this review. But I think I need to actually, like, absorb this music first so I can get the right words out, because I'm still learning, like I said. So yeah, be back soon-ish. Prince released Hit and Run Phase 2 on the 13th of December unexpectedly, without any hint that he was going to release it. It caught me by surprise and the Prince community by surprise. Prince surprised the entire world when releasing this album. It was so unexpected, especially 3 months ago we was blessed with Phase 1. Now, like, Prince has been very active on Twitter for the past 3 months after the release of Phase 1, and there was some speculation that he was working on a new album or something like that, but it wasn't until he confirmed it once he replied a tweet by a fan who asked if he was going to do a jazz-related sort of, like, album, and Prince was like, something, I don't remember the tweet word for word, but it was amongst the lines like, we're working on that right now. So it get, people talking and stuff. With Phase 2 creates a balance for Phase 1, where Phase 1 was more of a upbeat techno, electro, pop, funk sort of album, whereas with Phase 2 we have these soulful jazz, funk, rock melodies with the MPG horns. I feel like it's completely balancing Phase 1. A lot of fans really do enjoy this album. A lot of people have said a lot of positive things. I've read a lot of positive reviews in newspapers and articles online. A lot of YouTube reviews have been out there about this album already. I actually previously did record a review on this album, but I was really unwell, so I couldn't release it, so I'm re-recording it again. And now that I have more information than I did before, I can talk more on this album. Now that it's been about a good, 3 weeks now since I've had the album now, and it's grown to me more and more songs mean a lot more to me than it did before when I first heard them, because some of the tracks I understand have been out for a few years, and I heard there's one special one on this album as well that's been an outtake from way back. So it's really like an educational journey for me listening to this album as well. I think, that's what I think. Like I mentioned before, it's a balance between Phase 1. But I've also asked a few fans as well what's their impression on it, because it was like a 50-50, like with Phase 1. And so I wanted to understand or get people's opinions on Phase 2, so I can clarify myself, because like I said, I'm fairly new to this man's music, and to understand that he's released a second album in a year again, like he did last year with Petrum Electrum and Artificial Age, within 3 months after Phase One. Like I said, this is still fresh to me. This is something new. So I'm going to get into this review and I'm going to discuss some tracks I might talk more on, some tracks I won't discuss more on because I'm still, you know, trying to understand and listen and get my opinions across on it. So, yeah. So the first track of the album is quite a powerful song to start off an album, I think. It's Baltimore. Baltimore, I feel like if music could heal the world, Baltimore would be the track that could try and do that. Baltimore for me is Prince's Signs of the Times for 2015. It's talking about the injustice in Baltimore and other cities in America and also around the world if you want to like take it that far. Talking about the distressing situation but using an uplifting song and beats on the drums and the guitars and the instruments that Prince arranged together to create this song in one day. Basically, he's expressing his uncertainty about the situation that's going on in America at the time, earlier this year and previous years as well, with the support of the Chicago-based singer Erin Allen Kane. I think her melodies work well with this song. It had a sentimental view to it. It had emotions to it, especially when he opens the song with the lyrics. Does anybody hear us pray for Michael Brown or Freddie Gray? Peace is more than the absence of war. It's very touching, especially those two people who have been killed from injustice. Like, who didn't like. It's very sad, but also contrast to that sadness, there's a music video which shows like the communities coming together, working together and peace and love, which Prince has always been talking about throughout his music throughout the years. And topics like this and similar topics like this he has spoken about throughout the years. And it's really like good for Prince to actually speak out on a situation like this through his music, I feel. As it's obviously, you know, it's a very emotional song, I think, whereas it's an emotional tribute song calling out for peace. And that's what Prince is all about, like peace and love one another. I feel that also 3 minutes into the song and 17 seconds up towards the end, that like instrumental guitar piece and the drums with Erin singing Absence of War twice, but how she sang it made you stop and think about what they are talking about and what's been going on. And I feel like it's very emotional for me when I listen to it, because events like what's going on right now with injustice and stuff like that, I really do think about those things, and I really feel like it's actually a really good song to talk about the situation that happened in Baltimore. And I really love the fact that he had a rally as well. That was amazing. I love that. I wish I was there to support, because if I was able to get the chance to do it, I would be there and definitely show my support there as well. It's like I said, it's an emotional tribute song by Prince, and it's a sign of the times of 2015. Then to lighten up the mood, the second song of the album is Rock and Roll Love Affair. Now, Rock and Roll Love Affair, I heard this song a couple months ago, I think, because it's been released before, but this one sounds a bit different from what I've heard before. Obviously, lightens not the mood of the seriousness of Baltimore on the second track of the album, and Prince hits us with this funky tune to lighten things up, like I said, and it's like really have a hint of country and folk elements, which I'll get to in a minute, because to me it has those elements, but it's still funk rock, and especially with the guitar and the horns. Hello, horns. The first time I hear the horns on this album. It's really good to hear the MPG horns on this album. It wakes you up. It makes you want to get up and just listen. Like, it wakes you up, really. That's why I feel with the horns. The lyrics with Prince saying, she believed in fairy tales and princes. He believed in voices coming from his stereo. Storytelling. Great storytelling that this song is doing right now. I feel like Prince is talking about two different people with two different goals, but end up being together regardless of their differences or interests. Now, that's where I get the country folk elements, because music that are in those genres, they're always talking about difficult situations like that. So that's why I get that type of like idea where I'm thinking, oh, as influenced by that. But Prince had his you know, touch to it. That's how I see it. The third track on the album is Too Young to Dance, which Prince pronounces as 2Y2D. So playful. Apparently Prince used to play this before, like, well, he's played this before live a few years back at some after shows. It's horns galore. I am telling you, the horns are just, it's a fantastic dance track for me. I feel like it keeps the party moving. If you play this at a party, get people on their feet. Prince is having fun with this track. There's a big band rock kind of like jazz influence in this track, and also a hint of blues as well. It's like, it's very jazzy and funky at the same time for me, especially with wow, the flute. The flow of this song works well for this album. As you can tell, obviously Prince has introduced MPG horns into this album, so they're going to be working throughout, because this is now the second track I've heard them in it now, compared to Rock and Roll Love Affair. It's a compliment to Rock and Roll Love Affair as well, having Too Young to Dance, and I really do love this song. It's actually quite fun. I love it, and it's a great track. I love it. The fourth song on the album is Look at Me and Look at You. Now, this song, well, when I looked on the Tidal playlist to download and buy this album, I looked at the track list and I saw Look at Me and Look at You. And I looked at it and I was thinking, that looks, to me that looks brand new. Like, Look at Me and Look at You. So I was thinking, alright, I'm going to listen to this song first, because that's what like most times when it comes to albums, I always read the track list first before I even click play to listen to the first track. I look out for song titles that look interesting and might have something interesting in it. So I click play, and when I heard that intro on that song, and then Prince's deep vocal starts off and kicks off, I fell in love completely. I said, this album wins for me. I didn't hear any other tracks in this album by clicking that song, because it was just like, wow, jazz, wow, soul. It just hit me. I was like, oh my god, is this Prince? Because I'm thinking, 3 months ago we had Phase 1, and Phase 1 didn't have tracks like Look at Me and Look at You. So I was thinking, oh my god, what is this? I'm so like, I mean, it was a really pleasant surprise for me. I really did enjoy this song. I love it so much that I got so deep into it. It's like, it gave me like a gospel revival kind of feel with it, because of the like keys in it as well. But it was like something I've been looking for in Prince to release for a very long time. A track like this I'm a sucker, like I said, for soulful songs. And this track showcases Prince's strength and artistry and versatility in his like making really good music. No matter what genre of music he's making, if it's rock and roll, funk, soul, R&B, blues, the man is talented. And I feel like his Essential Energy is a very inspirational song for me as well. It's like my soundtrack to 2016, and that bass as well. Oh, it's amazing. I think it's beautiful. It's like, oh, I could listen to it on loop and never get bored of it, because it's such a good piece of music. It's such a good piece of sound of music. It's so good. And also the lyrics as well. I asked myself this question, but it's still a mystery. How am I going to keep my balance when I look at you? It's like, oh, so cute. It's a feel-good embracing. It's very embracing, and Prince is really good at doing that with his lyrics as well, and with the complementary of his instruments that he puts together together for to make a song like this. And I really do appreciate this song so much. I really love it so much. It makes up the album for me. It's just amazing. I really do love this song. The fifth song of the album is Stare. Stare completely playful. Straight away, as soon as you hear that bass slapping in your face and you hear it, it's like, yeah, it's very playful. I love the Kiss intro as well in the middle. It's like completely like, when you hear Kiss, you just want to like get up and dance, because Parade was one of those albums like, what? And like this is like this song to me is like get back your groove, like jam. Like for me, once the horns start to play as well, it wakes you up and be like, let's dance, let's do this. so to speak. It's like clap your hands and jerk your body to the beats of the tune, and I can't stand still when I hear this song. And also the sexy dancer reference as well to it. It's basically like the sexy dancer of 2015 with those reference saying sexy dance now. So I'm like, you know. Also the fade out as well into the track, like 2 minutes and 45 seconds. There's a fade out in it, and once a fade out happens in a Prince song, I tend to listen to it. I listen to it because something's coming. You don't know what's coming, but something good is coming, and I don't know what it is. But the horns I think it's the horns. But then again, I saw some rumors saying it was a train in it. I was thinking, train in a track, Prince. Then I thought it's Prince. He could make it work because he's creative like that, and he's a perfectionist, so he could make it sound like an instrument. So I don't know if it's a horn or a train, but it's genius, and I think it worked well with the song. It was amazing. I think this is a really cool song. It's funky. It's just fun. It's a fun, playful track by Prince, I think. The 6th track on the album is Extra Loveable. Now, Extra Loveable is the song I was talking about earlier in the intro that was a throwback from the 80s, from Prince's 1999 era in 82, which was a outtake. Now, when the song came on, it nearly broke my speakers, because when I listen to new music, I like to play it on my speakers loud so I can feel the music like I'm in the studio with the artist. And when the song played, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a really nice wake-up call. Hi, how you doing? So to speak. Like, this is really good. I love Prince's 80s catalogue, so automatically this was like one of my favourites, I think. I also listened back to the outtake so I could like see what he's changed, what's different. He kept the lyrics the same, you know, the arrangements and everything else I think was pretty good. He's like the same thing what he did with 1,000 Hugs and Kisses with Phase 1. I like both versions of both songs. I think it was amazing. It's great to hear young Prince again. Young Prince again in the lyrics. It's like, I feel like the original, that was then, but this is now. And right now, it feels good to see Prince going back in time and taking songs that could be potential singles and putting it into albums and releasing them now. I think is a really good, it keeps my hopes up, I think. And, you know, like the horns as well and the bass, like the MPG horns did a really good job with Prince on this album. I really think they really worked well and with the arrangements and just keeping the flow of things cool, jazzy and funky, and I really do enjoy this album. I really do enjoy the tracks so far in this album, and I think they work completely well with it, with the whole hit and run saga. Track 7 on the album is Groovy Potential. Groovy Potential for me is a feel-good song. It's a dance song. Prince is talking about dancing to me. I feel like I really do enjoy listening to this song. Like I mentioned before in previous tracks in this review, the horns as well makes you want to dance and move. Regarding lyrics of when Prince says, your body is a movie, to me I'm thinking so much action and movement is happening. It's like I'm watching a movie because you're dancing. You got the groovy potential. You got potential to groove and get people moving. You know the ways there. So it's, I feel like he's talking about dancing, and I think it would be great to hear this song live because I can just see the crowd. I can see the crowd right now singing and just, you know, just getting funky and getting groovy with it. I can see it now. It's a great track. I love it. It's such a really good, his arrangement is completely amazing, especially 2 minutes into the track and like 52 seconds into it, up to like 3 minutes and 15 seconds. It's like there's a guitar segment in that, and the clicks, that's funk right there. That's funk to me. It's like a groovy, funky, I was gonna say jazz element track, but it's so groovy and funky. I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's a really fun, playful track, and I love it. The 8th song in the album is When She Comes. Now, When She Comes is really, it slows you down after all the excitement we've had with Groovy Potential, Rock and Roll Love Affair, you know, we already had Look at Me, Look at You, which is quite slow, but still. When She Comes reminds me a lot of Do You Lie from Parade, with a hint of Begging Woman blues from the 21 Nights Live. The reason why I say that, there's a reason. It's because of that Frenchy feel to it. It reminds me a lot of Do You Lie, especially the intro, and the lyrics as well. Like, the song title gave me the idea as well to merge the two. It has that old school storytelling that grabs my attention. But I really like what Prince does with songs like this. This will be like, it's a really smooth classic song, and also, like I mentioned again, a hint of blues, which is consistent in this album, I feel. Also, it's like a jazz fusion. Like I said, I did record a few weeks ago about when the first week when the album came out. I mentioned some stuff, but I wanted to add also that it sounds like the new version of 14 from the Madhouse album 16. For me, it just has that Miles Davis influence as well to me. I feel like the instruments as well without lyrics, well, with lyrics basically. It's a very smooth track compared to all the excitement we had with, you know, Groovy Potential. It just makes me feel like, right, it's time to calm down. Just like, it's ease. It's good to have that sort of arrangement in the track, because we're just like upbeat, up and going. I feel that's what I get with this track. This track is just to even things out. Like I said, to balance things out. Yeah, to balance tracks. The 9th track of the album is Screwdriver. Screwdriver for me is electric, fun, very traditional Prince regarding choice of lyrics. I've heard it before, didn't like it, because it was not what I was looking for at the time. But then I thought, you know what? It's not my favourite song now. Like, especially with the lyric choice. You can call me CC, crowd control. Prince can control a crowd, and he knows it. And it's like, he just wakes you up, especially when he mentions, like, when he just wakes you up, especially when he mentions everywhere where we go now, there's a show now. People pay money for rock and roll. It's basically talking about his lifestyle. His lifestyle of him going to shows, performing, the crowd, people coming to see him, people going crazy. It's amazing. It's like, I just love, I love the choice of lyrics as well when he mentions as well, but to the day that we do, to the day what we do, I'm your driver and you're my screw. Prince is just showing off his life before things get serious. I feel like that's, you know, I think that's where he's going with that as well. To me, it was, at first I really thought it was talking about a relationship, but it is a relationship. It's a relationship about him on life on the road and him on stage, and, you know, that's what I feel like what he's talking about in this song. And it's a pretty fun track again. It's a very lively rock and roll song, I feel, with a hint of Purple Funk by Prince. I really think it's amazing. Definitely a really good, fun track. The 10th track of the album is the longest track on the album, and that is Black Muse. Black Muse to me is a very inspirational song. Personal, like, it's very personal to me. Like, it has the influence of neo jazz, soul. It's like a blend of new fashion, cutting edge to me, and it's like a unique composition, slightly mimics Stevie Wonder. I really do feel that way. The lyrics to me are very important. Again with the storytelling, but it's like, I don't know if it's a double meanings, sorry. But the lyrics to me is very touching. It makes you think. Like, I wish that when this album came out, the lyrics came out too, the official lyrics, so I can understand and read, because I had to search online to find these lyrics and stuff to understand what they're talking about, because sometimes I miss certain things and I think I hear something when it means something else. But I really found like a really good one, and it's the word Black Muse. Black, the name, Black Muse. It refers back to the Rainbow Children to me. Because when I see Muse, I think of Muse to the Pharaoh, which is one of my favourite tracks from the Rainbow Children album. And the elements of how he uses it as well in the story throughout the song. Black Muse, we've been so abused, our mothers were good looking and our fathers were too. If they don't stay together, we can walk no better in these shoes, Black Muse. I'm speechless. It's very what I want to say, but I don't want to say it, cause it's like it's a very powerful movement to me. Like that song, that's how I'm taking it. Maybe I'm taking it wrong, but that's the vibe I'm getting from it, from what he just mentioned there. And then he says also, well, to be honest, Prince doesn't really say these lyrics. I think it's Shelby J or Liv Warfield. It's one of those two. But he says, but the lyrics carries on to say, long ago, 2 men held us down. Another took a whipping, made a terrible sound. A baby watched your father fall into the ground. That was you and me. Further on, it gets more inspirational and more powerful and uplifting. And it carries on to say, Black Muse, we gonna make it through. Surely people created a rhythm and blues, rock and roll and jazz, so you know what we built to last. It's cool, Black Muse. It's cool. 3 times for reinsurance. For me, it reminds me a bit of hints of like how Bob Marley did 3 Little Birds. Almost basically saying is that whatever happens, happened. We can be fine. It's alright. Everything's gonna be cool. Don't worry about it. It's just temporary. Temporary. It's only gonna happen for just now, but it's not gonna be forever. Don't worry about it. Basically, get on up and move on. Basically, that's how I get it, and it's a very inspiring song, and it's really quite personal for me. As you know, I can understand the lyrics. The 11th track on the album is Revelation. Revelation is everyone's favourite, but it's my personal favourite because, like I mentioned before, I have been looking out or dying for Prince could have, but now has, released an album that has influenced fully on jazz and soulful elements. And this enchanting song, I feel, is so magical. It's so embracing at the same time. Revelation. The meaning of revelation is disclose, declaration, discovery. I feel like with Marcus Anderson playing the saxophone and the flute, wow, it's so beautiful. It's so amazing. I don't even know, I can't even find words to describe how I feel when I listen to this song, because I'm in love with this song. I feel like I have faith again in music just because of this track on this album. I feel the harmonies and the guitar and the bass as well. That signature guitar as well, it works well with Marcus playing saxophone and the flute, I feel. Especially like where Prince mixes poetry in a ballad as well. It reminds me so much again of the Rainbow Children album. Like I said, it has those elements on that album involved in it, and some bits of like from tracks from Lotus Flower as well. It's a very, I would say peaceful, but it's very enchanting at the same time. Like I said, it's like a love-making, enchanting sound, which the industry is missing out on. Love, slow, soulful songs are missing out, and Prince is bringing it back in with this track Revelation. And I think he did a brilliant job working together with Marcus Anderson as well. We can blatantly tell it's Marcus Anderson playing that saxophone, because no one can play a sax like Marcus. And I feel like as well, it's my favourite track of the album. I can't talk too deep on it because it's a personal touch to me. Like I just love it. So I wouldn't go too much into it. But the lyrics, Prince is like, It's all coming back to me now. You and I were meant to be together. And then it goes on to say, it seems like you've always been here. Now that you are, save me forever, my dear. Like, it's really, it's so, obviously, I think it's about love. And you can feel the love where Prince is coming from. And you can feel that emotion, that sentiment. It means a lot to a lot of people. A lot of people love this song. Like, when I first heard the album, I went crazy over Revelation. It was just beautiful. Marcus did an amazing good job, and I think this is one of the signature songs. One of his, this is like this song Revelation is added to one of Prince's signature songs onto his catalogue of all songs he's made, because it's classic. It's very classic, and it tells you that as long as you know what you're doing and you've been in the game for so long, you will always make great music, beautiful, enchanting music, no matter what you've been through, no matter how long you've been in it. As long as you're good at doing it, Prince has proved to us that he doesn't need to prove to us anymore. We already know that he can do it, and he can still do it. He's still got his groove. He's still got his touch. And Revelation is a perfect example in this album that showcases that talent that he has. And the artists around him, and the musicians around him as well. The last track of the album is like Big City. Big City is the last track of the album, which is basically the curtain call of Phase 2 for me. It's like the whole MPG horns and the vocal powerhouses from Shelby J to Lisa Days and Loveable Field. And I also heard that Legacy, is that, I hope I pronounce her name right. She's on this track as well. Now, that's neo soul right there. Now, you know, once she's on that track, you know it's gonna be soulful. You know it's gonna be amazing. You know that, and then those three work together completely well. It's like, it's just, I think this song sums up Phase 2. It's a perfect song to end the album, especially with the powerful message that we started off with Baltimore. And it's an upbeat, funky jazz. And it's a fun track as well. And the horns, clearly you can hear the horns. They have their imprint on this album, clearly. And this song is a great closing track for this album. It's like, it doesn't feel like this is it, this is the end. It feels like there's something more, there's more coming. Watch out. We're in a big city. So it's very exciting to hear a song like that at the end of an album like this. And I think it's amazing. I love the arrangements of this album completely. This song it just works completely well. It reminds me back to the Welcome to America tour. And I understand that maybe that's where this song is coming from. I don't know much. Like I said, I'm still new to this music by Prince. I'm still new to his music. And a lot of people, a lot of his fans, have been fans for a very long time. They probably heard snippets of these tracks before. But to hear him release them and actually have a finished product is really good. It feels good. And it makes me feel proud to like listen to really good music. Because, like I mentioned before, the industry's missing out on music like this with real instruments and music, and you don't hear that every day anymore. It used to be back in the day, but right now it's kind of like it's rare, and I really appreciate, and it feels good to have tracks like Big City and people who can actually sing, you know what I mean, on a track like this. And it tells you how powerful the vocals are as well, because I'm sure when recording live, it was a jam. And then to sing over instruments like that, because I'm thinking it's like, I don't know why it's like a 12-piece band involved, but it's very grand, and it's like a big band, funky, jazzy, big band, jazzy, funky, groovy band, and it's amazing, and I love it, and it was a perfect piece to end an album like this. My final thoughts on this album is these. I wrote a lot on this album. Like, if you have me on Facebook, you've probably seen a picture of me put, like, stuff like this because basically I have a notebook, and when I listen to tracks, I write stuff down or keywords down, and a lot of stuff came through my head, and I thought, you know what, I have to type it up because I can't. It's too much stuff to say, and I might waffle when I do the video without any like form of guidance. And my final thoughts on this album is that it's completely different. It's completely different to Phase One, and it's I'm a soulful head, so this is my favorite album from the Hit and Run saga. Like I said, the Hit and Run, like Phase 1 and 2, are living up to their names. Is living up to the expectations of Prince is hitting us with like outtakes and hits and running back into the studio and making more. I feel like we're being truly blessed to hear good music, and I appreciate Prince actually releasing Phase 2 so quickly after Phase 1. Phase 1 was still growing on me. Like I said, Phase 2 is one of my favourite. Like I said, I'm a soulful head. I've always been dying for an album like this from Prince to release, and I'm so grateful he's done that right now. And I always wanted an album full of tracks like Golden Parachute from the Slaughterhouse album. And I really think, like, this is going to be I think Hit and Run Phase 2 is going to be the closest album to that for me. And it's a very personal album for me because I really love tracks like Look at Me and Look at You, Black Muse, Revelation. And then we've got Groovy Potential. Groovy Potential is now starting to be another one of my favourites on this album. And I really do love these tracks on this album. It's so beautiful. I love the fact that he started off the album with Baltimore. A powerful message behind that track. But to start it off in an album as a first track, that's pretty bold. That's a bold move, I think. Because I don't see a lot of artists doing that. And Prince did it, and it works completely well. Like, it worked amazingly good with this album. Also, I hear a lot of, like people are talking right now. Prince has got people talking right now. Ever since he dropped this album 3 weeks ago. Like, he got people talking because at the current moment on Twitter, on his header, it's like 4 different cartoons drawn by Mark Hornet. The first picture is the picture from the Phase 1 album. And the second picture is the picture now of the cover for Phase 2. Now, currently don't have Phase 2 as an album on CD as yet, but people are speculating that the next 2 pictures, obviously from the Love Sexy and the Purple Rain era, and are going to be 2 more phases. Something exciting is happening, and so people think the next phase is going to be some outtakes from the Love Sexy era with some new tracks, and then the last one will be some outtakes from the Purple Rain era, or some people are speculating that it might have been, or could be, the Purple Rain remaster, or just outtakes from that era. I don't know. We'll see. Just keep tweeting Prince, and then he'll like give you hints. It's like he guys giving people breadcrumbs, and then he hits us the whole loaf. So we don't know until he releases it and chooses to tell us. Like, it took me some time to do this review because I was not well for a while, and I listened to this album. You know, it's like to me, it's like a little Christmas present because it came out before Christmas. It's really nice. It's a perfect way to end the year. Great music. When you're having house parties, it's a perfect way to play tracks like Groovy Potential. I think it'll be a great, amazing. Too Young to Dance, Stare, Clearly, The Bass, like Extra Loveable. There are party tracks on this album, and then there are slow jams on this album. I love the jazz fusion as well he's used with the MPG horns. That gives that classic touch, like I said before. It's like I mentioned before, the arrangements as well. It's really cutting edge for me, and it's quite influential, especially like when he's talking. Especially like what he did with Black Muse as well. He had 2 different parts of that track, and then he goes into that musical instrumental segment, and I really think that worked completely well, and it was really fun. It even turned into like a dance track because it's so funky as well with that bass, and then the harmonies as well in between. It just works well. I need to find words because I'm taken away by it. I'm speechless because I'm so impressed by this album. I don't know what to say. And that's why it took me so long to stand in front of this camera and talk. Because I'm like, I love this album, but I don't want to be like, oh my god, I love this album so much. Da, da, da. It's a great album. And I'm really impressed by it. And I love the balance it gave to Phase One. Because a lot of people didn't like Phase One. And now there's Phase Two. And it's like, yay! Kill him, Prince! I like to read, reviews. And like to read people's opinions on this album. What's your favourite track on the album? What is it you like about this album? What do you expect? Because do you think the next two phases are gonna be Love, Sexy and Purple Rain influenced? What do you think? What's your views and opinions on this album? I want to say a massive thank you to the Prince community, because the first video I did was the first video I ever did on a Prince album, or even on Prince openly, and the support I've received in the past 3 months has been magnificent, and it's actually boosted my confidence, and I'm so grateful that I've choose to listen to a man who has Prince can make really good music and makes people come together as one, and that's something I was missing in my life, and I feel like I'm so blessed to actually meet people along my journey listening to his music and supporting me, and I really am appreciative of it, and I really really appreciate the support I've been receiving, and I will be doing more videos on Prince and other related stuff. It's just that I've been so busy, but this album, the responses receiving, the reviews I've seen, it's a good start, and it's a great start for the new year for Prince. 2016 is going to be his year, and I'm definitely sure that we're going to receive more gifts, more albums in 2016, and I really do appreciate him going back in time and taking outtakes and revamping them and releasing them. I think it's a really good, pleasant surprise, and I really do appreciate that. That is something special, because I remember him saying something that he doesn't go back in his old work. That's in the past, and for him to do what he's doing now with these outtakes, that's pretty special. There's something coming. There's something good coming. So I get that vibe. There's something good coming. So thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments below what you think about this album.